in your dealings with agents throughout the league, what is, and I know it's, everyone's got a different viewpoint, but what's your read on how the agents perceive Kyle Dubas and how they feel maybe they can negotiate pretty good deals for their clients compared to how they might react to David Poyle, Lou Lamoriello, et cetera?
You know what? I know that one of the narratives that's starting is, he didn't do a good job on Nylander. He paid top dollar, and now, Marner's going to take him to the woodshed. Matthews took him to the woodshed, and Marner's going to take him to the woodshed. And the reality is, and I mentioned this about Nylander. So Nylander got $7 million. What if he drew a really hard line? What do you think the bottom of the barrel number that Nylander would have gotten from Lou Lamoriello, or pick your toughest, meanest general manager ever?
Probably 6'5".
6'5". And the reality is the Leafs, from the get-go, wanted to get Nylander for the same money as Pasternak or a little bit less, almost 6.7. So now you're there on the eve of December 1st, and it's actually December 1st, and it's coming down to the thing. And you end up giving Nylander $7 million. So $300,000 more than what you wanted to. And the reason you did that is because if you didn't, you're not going to have him for the year. And because Nylander had such a horse bleep year and hardly scored any goals and didn't have a strong playoff, people are looking back now in the revisionist history and saying, should have taken a hard line on that guy. Can you imagine if on December 1st, Kyle Dubas came out and said, weren't able to get a deal done, Nylander's not playing this year? I can guarantee you every one of you guys would be saying this is a major failure on his part to not get a deal done with a core player. And for what? $300,000 a year?
Well, let me ask you this, Bob. How differently would it have been handled if Lou was here?
I think the timeline would change. That's the difference. He may get a 6-9, but it would have happened in September.
I think when Kyle Dubas talked about, the mistakes that he made or took responsibility, and he talked about doing things differently with Nylander, there were some people who perceived that to be, oh wow, like you should have, you should have done something softer to get the deal done quicker or whatever. It might have been taking a much harder line much earlier and saying, this is all you're going to get and you can sit out if you want, but that's that. So,
right.
Live and learn. But, the problem you run into with Matthews and Marner is going to be the same problem that most teams run into with their big guys. And that is, you're kind of at their mercy unless you want to start the season without them.
Right.
Because if he didn't give Matthews that money, then Matthews wasn't going to sign. Well, and so what do you do?
Where's the line get drawn then? I think that's where you're headed.
Well, yeah. I mean, I understand it's apples to oranges. Every player's different. Every team is different. Yeah. Kucherov got signed, no problem. Here's 8 years, 9.5. I'll take it. How did they convince him to take that?
And part of it is where he lives.
Okay, but being a Maple Leaf, I thought was supposed to be really special. Isn't that what they're trying to promote? That's what they're trying to build up? Well, I thought Mitch Marner loves being a Leaf.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Exactly.
I guess we'll see. That narrative's all well and good, but they a lot of the players, and I heard O talking about it on the radio last night's show, and that these guys want to get paid. Patrick Laine wants to get paid. Kyle Connor wants to get paid. Kyle Connor and Patrick Laine don't care that Mark Scheifele's making 6.25. And unfortunately for the Leafs, they're going through this at a time when the rules of engagement have kind of changed. So it's easy to look back now and say, well, the Boston Bruins got Marchand at a club-friendly number, and they got Bergeron at a club-friendly number, and they got all these guys at a club-friendly number.
What the hell are they going to do with McAvoy and Carlo?
Carlo won't be too difficult, but McAvoy, he didn't have the kind of year that he wanted, so it'll end up probably being a bridge deal. Because McAvoy is going to bet on himself, and the Bruins are fine with that because they would prefer not to do a massive 6, 7, 8 year deal that's got a huge number, and just let it play out and buy themselves some more time. But the Winnipeg Jets are, Laine and Connor are going to run right by Scheifele and Wheeler.
Yeah,
for fun.
Yeah.
Right.
And Trouba's going to be right.
And Trouba's going to be gone.
Yeah, Trouba
Like
would be.
Trouba hasn't shown a willingness to commit long term to Winnipeg, so it's just the rules of the game have changed in a lot of respects, and the Leafs unfortunately are going to be the poster boy for how difficult it is to draft and develop these really good players
And keep them.
and keep them.
But
and then it was a conscious decision to get Tavares. I mean, they didn't have to go out. Kyle Dubas' life would have been so much easier from a financial point of view if he didn't have Tavares.
Yeah. They have lots of flexibility.
No, the Leafs wouldn't have been as good this year, I dare say.
Or next year, for that matter.
Or next year. And it would have been a little slower build where you'd say, okay, we're going to give all our money to Matthews and Marner and Nylander, and we'll just let it build, and here we go. But they went out and got Tavares, and so it was like, okay, now, like, we're ready now. And we got the Matthews deal done, and we got the Nylander deal done, and now people are like, how are we going to get the Marner deal done? And that's just the nature of the beast.